The year is 2742. Humanity, ever the ambitious explorer, had spread its tendrils across the galaxy, encountering myriad species. Some were friendly, some indifferent, and some were the Cathar. The Cathar were renowned, not for their diplomacy, their art, or their philosophical treatises. No, the Cathar were renowned for one thing and one thing only: their prowess in battle. Their very name was a hushed whisper, a grim nod among starfarers. Their history was written in the scars of conquered worlds and the legends of their unyielding ferocity. So, when a Cathar diplomatic mission arrived at Unity Station 7, a crucial hub of interstellar commerce and culture, there was a palpable tension. Dignitaries stiffened, security patrols increased, and cafeteria worker Elara Vance found herself stocking extra nutrient paste just in case. Elara Vance was, by all accounts, an ordinary human. She wasn't a decorated pilot, a brilliant xenolinguist, or a hardened mercenary. She just made food, good food. And she had a particular fondness for recreating classic Terran dishes even in the depths of space. Among the Cathar delegation were two young cubs, barely past their infancy by Cathar standards, but already radiating a potent, albeit unrefined, intensity. These were Kurlak and Xylos, scions of a proud warrior lineage. They were supposed to be observing the diplomatic process, learning the intricate dance of galactic power. Instead, they were mostly bored, restless, and occasionally causing minor diplomatic incidents by accidentally shredding expensive holodisplays with their nascent claws. One cycle, while their elders were locked in a particularly lengthy and verbose negotiation over mineral rights, Kurlak and Xylos decided to explore. Their natural predatory instincts, usually honed on simulated prey in training modules, led them to the most intriguing scent on the entire station, the Unity Station 7 main cafeteria. They slipped past the automated doors, their keen senses overwhelmed by a cacophony of aromas, synthetic protein blends, spiced nutrient pastes, and something else. Something rich, savory, and utterly alien to their carnivorous palates, accustomed only to the raw, sinewy cuts of Cathar hunting spoils. Elara, wiping down a counter, noticed them immediately. Two small, but undeniably Cathar figures standing wide-eyed by the entrance. Her first instinct was a jolt of primal fear, a flicker of the reputation that preceded them. Her second, however, was a motherly concern. They looked lost and a little hungry. "Hey there, little ones," she said, her voice soft and even. "Are you looking for your parents?" Kralak let out a low growl, a sound that in Cathar culture often preceded a challenge. Xylos, ever the more pragmatic, simply pointed a claw toward the sizzling platter on Elara's counter. It was a fresh batch of her famous Terran fried chicken, a nostalgic indulgence she prepared for the human crew. Crispy, golden brown, and radiating an aroma that defied all known dietary classifications for the Cathar. Elara hesitated. Cathar dietary needs were specific, high protein, raw, unprocessed. This was not that. But the look in Xylos's eyes, a blend of fierce curiosity and undeniable hunger, was too much to resist. "All right," she said with a sigh, picking up a smaller piece. "Just a little then. Don't tell your folks." Xylos sniffed it cautiously, a low rumble in their chest. Then, with a sudden, decisive movement, they snatched the piece and took a bite. Kurlak watched, ready to pounce if this human food proved to be a trick. And then it happened. Xylos's eyes, usually sharp and calculating, widened. A sound, somewhere between a purr and a delighted chirp, escaped them. They chewed slowly, savoring the crispy skin, the tender meat, and the burst of unfamiliar, yet utterly delicious, flavors. Kralak, witnessing this unprecedented display of culinary pleasure, abandoned all caution. They nudged Xylos, demanding a taste. Elara, amused and a little relieved, offered Kurlak a piece as well. The result was identical. Kurlak's stoic demeanor melted, replaced by an expression of pure, unadulterated bliss. The two Cathar cubs, future warriors of a fearsome race, were utterly, irrevocably captivated by fried chicken. From that day forward, the Unity Station 7 cafeteria became their secret haunt. Elara, initially wary, grew fond of the two cubs. She'd leave them small portions of her Terran delicacies, not just fried chicken, but occasionally mac and cheese, or even a daring slice of pepperoni pizza. Their visits became ritualistic. They learned to communicate in a strange hybrid of Cathar growls, human gestures, and the universal language of more, please. Elara taught them about Terran culture, about the joy of a good meal shared, and about the simple pleasure of an unexpected kindness. Their Cathar elders, baffled by the cubs' unexplained contentment and surprisingly clean claws, attributed it to the rigorous diplomatic training. They assumed their young were simply adapting to the mental exercises required of future leaders. Then came the incident. A rogue band of space pirates, the notorious Void Scavengers, launched a surprise attack on Unity Station 7, aiming to plunder its valuable cargo holds. Chaos erupted. Alarms blared, energy shields flickered, and the station went into lockdown. Elara was caught in the cafeteria, trying to secure the emergency rations, when a squad of Void Scavengers, burly and heavily armed, breached a nearby airlock. They were heading straight for the culinary supplies, assuming it would be undefended. Just as one of the pirates raised their plasma rifle, a blur of motion erupted from the shadows. Kurlak and Xylos, having instinctively sought out Elara during the initial chaos, launched themselves at the intruders. The pirates, expecting frightened civilians, were met with the full, unbridled ferocity of two Cathar cubs, operating on pure, protective instinct. Their small size was deceptive, their claws were razor-sharp, their movements lightning fast, and their roars, though still high-pitched, were filled with genuine Cathar battle rage. They didn't fight with strategy, but with a raw, primal loyalty. Elara, their provider of crispy, golden joy, was in danger, and no one, absolutely no one, threatened their human. The fight was short, brutal, and utterly bewildering for the pirates. They were accustomed to overwhelming resistance with force. They were not accustomed to being ambushed and thoroughly outmaneuvered by what appeared to be small, incredibly angry, furry children. By the time station security arrived, drawn by the commotion and the distinct sound of Cathar battle cries, the pirates were subdued, whimpering, and utterly demoralized. Kurlak and Xylos stood proudly beside Elara, their fur bristling, their eyes still burning with the echoes of battle. The Cathar delegation, alerted to the incident, arrived moments later. Their stoic faces, usually impenetrable, registered a mix of shock, confusion, and a flicker of pride. Their cubs, without formal training, had engaged and defeated armed adversaries. This was truly a display of their lineage's inherent ferocity. Elara, still a little shaky, explained what had happened. She focused on the cubs' bravery and their instinctive defense of the station. The lead Cathar diplomat, a formidable warrior named General Vark, regarded Elara with a new intensity. He had heard tales of their legendary loyalty, once earned, but he had never expected it to be earned by a human cafeteria worker. Later, after the dust settled, General Vark approached Elara privately. "Human," he rumbled, his voice like grinding tectonic plates. "My cubs speak of you with great reverence. They call you the provider of the golden feast." Elara chuckled, a nervous but genuine sound. "It's just fried chicken, General." Vark studied her, his gaze piercing. "It is more than that. It is a bond, a debt of honor. You have shown kindness to my young, and they have responded as Cathar respond, with unwavering loyalty." From that day forward, the Cathar delegation's attitude toward humanity shifted. The two cubs, Kurlak and Xylos, became unofficial ambassadors, their love for fried chicken a humorous anecdote that softened the Cathar's fearsome image. Elara found herself elevated to an unexpected status, the human who had cracked the Cathar code, not with weapons or diplomacy, but with a simple, delicious meal. As the years passed, as Kralak and Xylos grew into formidable Cathar warriors, their loyalty to Elara never wavered. They ensured that every diplomatic treaty and every trade agreement included a clause unspoken, of course, that ensured access to the finest Terran fried chicken. The fried chicken accords became a legend, a whispered tale among the stars, proving that even the fiercest warriors could be tamed, not by force, but by the unexpected, delicious taste of a humble human delicacy.